Yo, what's up guys? This is same old G and it's cold as fuck. It's cold as hell. This is a weird video because it's a long time due video that I was supposed to do for Chepe Le Pepe, FaunTrodden, Joseph Morgan battle, if I'm right. So yeah. He asked, because I asked last year, at least last year, I asked, hey guys, send me a couple questions, topic, different kind of topic you guys want me to discuss and stuff, and so he sent in the comment section some questions. And so some topic for videos. So at the same time, I will ask you now, give me some topics so I can discuss stuff for you. And en français, guys, s'il vous plaît, envoyez-moi des suggestions de sujets là, parce que là je veux vlogger mais j'ai rien à dire parce que je joue pas. Putain de merde. Okay, so FaunTrodden, you asked me to talk about Cyberpunk in my, and I always like to talk about Cyberpunk. There's a lot of Cyberpunk video on this channel, and there's been Cyberpunk video for the longest time because Cyberpunk is one of my favorite genre, and one of the one that I've frustrated the most. It's been frustrating for me to play Cyberpunk because I play Shadowrun, and Shadowrun is a frustrating game, and I try to play other kind of Cyberpunk games, and I never managed to because nobody wants to try. So yeah, I'm really frustrated with Cyberpunk, and it's one of my favorite genres. So I did last year. I made a video for you, but shit happens, and I kind of couldn't upload it for some reason, and I lost it. I don't remember, but yeah. So there you go. Cyberpunk, and you wanted me to talk about it and give you some tips on how to run it and shit like that. So first of all, for me, and this is I don't want to fall down into the talk to the player thing, but first thing first, when you play Cyberpunk, you wanna have a clear understanding of the type of Cyberpunk you wanna play, and with the group and shit, and so therefore it's gonna inform what game and what system you're gonna utilize, because the Cyberpunk genre is an umbrella term for different kind of aesthetic, different kind of play. You're always gonna have your political aspect with the corporations and the utopia, or the kind almost post-apocalyptic sometime, or futuristic dystopian future kind of thing. You will have the relationship of man with his own freedom and existence, and you will have stuff like the relationship of man with his body and technology, and the relationship of man with information and conspiracy theory with the kind of approach to politics and shit. So it's always, for me, the Cyberpunk genre, depending on which on what angle you're gonna take it, it kind of has to come down to what it is to be human, and what is consciousness and stuff like that in relationship to these different kind of elements that you find in a dystopian future. Now, once you set up which one you want to utilize, you can start to choose a game. Now the thing with Shadowrun is that if you want to play Shadowrun, it's because you want magic. There's no other reason. You want some urban fantasy, right? This is what you really want with Shadowrun, and then you're gonna have the same. It's a cyberpunk. It's not just urban fantasy. That's not what I'm saying. But you're gonna have your you wanna utilize that aspect, because because Shadowrun is a genre in itself, right? It's not just a setting. It's the whole package. But you wanna have magic. That's the thing, and it's the only one I know. I'm not sure. I'm not a big connoisseur now of games because there's so many of them. But I'm not the most knowledgeable. Not like I used to be a couple of years ago. But I think it's the one with the magic, because otherwise I don't think there's other Shadowrun, other Cyberpunk with magic. And there might be, right? There might be. There's so many right now. Then that's what that's where I would start with defining the kind of cyberpunk. Then you're gonna get to choose the game. If you want a real greedy, granular, and human-based approach, go with Cyberpunk 2020. And I know FaunTrodden. I'm not teaching you anything right now. It's not about that. I'm just expressing how I feel about Cyberpunk in general. Right now, though, the thing one of the reasons why I come back to this video is because Roomslinger just received the Veil, which is one of the newest, most interesting Cyberpunk game right now. To me, at least, because the Veil is somehow powered by the apocalypse. I don't really, powered by the apocalypse is not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing, but it made his mark. So, but the thing is that they bring to the table this new approach to RPG, which is kind of like an approach where the game tells you how you feel. It's an emotion-based mechanic kind of thing, where you might have read some stuff about it on the Kickstarter. Really interesting stuff. And it is and this isn't the new way to go about Cyberpunk. So I don't know much what I can tell you about the Veil, but I know it's a class-based thing, but they changed the class. It's not just your typical it might be bullshit though. It might just be skins on old classes, because you don't reinvent the wheel so much. But they kind of change the classes in it, creating different kind of characters, creating like a whole new genre in itself. So that can be an interesting way to go about it. I think it's probably the most interesting right now. But yeah, so now tips on how to run a Cyberpunk game. Now the thing with Cyberpunk, it's also you need to consider the technology level thing. And I did a video in the past about that, because you have your Cyberpunk that really looks like the 80s, and it's basically just like a corny ass setting, with not a lot with technology is not updated to the current level of technology we experience in the real world. And so therefore it kind of falls short of its purpose because of that. So when you started considering the level of I do think that considering the level of technology is one of the most important thing, because the cyberpunk genre is also when you want to play it in RPG, is also a reason to play with gear. These games are gear based a lot, in the sense of you want a good granularity on gear, the way the character can develop their persona through technology. Because one of the most important thing, I remember having this conversation years ago, because I started a question like cyberpunk is dead, and then I asked what is cyberpunk, and people asked me what is cyberpunk, and then we started trying to define it. And you know, one guy, I don't remember his name, but he gave me a really good answer. And he said to me, cyberpunk is about style. Everybody, you know, your character, the characters in the cyberpunk genre, they have style. It's about expressing themselves in a world where, you know, everybody is, you know, can enhance themselves, and so the depth of who you are and how you go about who you are is really important. So if you don't have good granularity in gear, if the GM doesn't allow you this and that, if the game doesn't allow you this and that, you kind of fall short on that aspect as well. So it's another thing that is kind of that you have to consider, and that goes through the technology level. So yeah, so that's an important aspect of what you want to do when you play a cyberpunk game. In terms of tips, I mean, cyberpunk will really often, because of that, fall into a category of game where a category of game where you I need to warm up before I do these. Jesus Christ. In a category of game where it's gonna be heavy on mechanics and die resolution stuff, because the more gear you have, the more specificity and number crunching and stuff. And most of the time, not always, depending on the game, but that's the thing. If you want to feel that granularity, you need these little details. And so whenever you get a guy that is technology master, that can go into the matrix, or that can go into like the virtual reality and all kind of stuff, you end up having this situation where you have to split the party kind of thing. Don't split the party! My God, don't split the party! Oh shit. Whew, I'm being nostalgic here. So yeah, so you have this situation where you have to split the table kind of thing, and so this is tricky, and this is the kind of reason why most people really used to hate Shadowrun and just don't even allow like a tech guy around the table and shit. So I don't really have a tip for that. You know, you can run individual session if you have the time. If you don't have the time, you can say to other people to talk to themselves, because there's a lot, depending on the kind of cyberpunk genre you want to play. But sometimes you end up having a small mission-based style, you know, where people do missions for some reasons. And so they have to infiltrate something, they have to go somewhere, they have to set up plans and shit. So the players actually have to talk to each other. So whenever that happens, you know, you switch to the tech guy, do the die resolution with him, you know, forcing the people to know how to use their gear, so therefore you don't have to think about it when you're a GM. Really important shit. You know, if the you know, I think it's kind of like a basic thing. I don't think I'm saying anything really special here, but gotta know your shit, know your sheet. Know your shit, know your sheet. Can do you see it? Gotta know your shit, man. You know your gear, know your tech, know how to use it, know the rules about it, and do the die roll yourself. So the GM doesn't have to think about it, nobody else doesn't have to think about it, and so it helps. You know, Cyberpunk is definitely a genre that demands responsibility to be spread out around the table a whole lot, and some dose of maturity as well, because you have to be patient. Because a lot of people want to plan, a lot of people want to argue, a lot of people want to talk about stuff, and a lot of people want to buy gear, they want to go shopping and shit. So yeah, I think that tells you a little bit of how I see it and how I would go about it. I would start, to summarize, I would start by finding what kind of cyberpunk I want to play. Then I would level of technology and the theme, you know, and then I would go and buy and figure out, that's gonna inform what game I will utilize. And once I know the game, then I will start, once I know the game and people make character, I will spread out responsibility, and by having clear intention, then you know where you go, and then you can just have fun and go about the cyberpunk thing. But yeah, you need to clarify these aspects, that's for sure. So talk to the player, that's the first thing, and then pick the right game, right? And yeah, you gotta be matcher, so don't be a dick. Alright, thanks for watching, talk to you soon.